It's the Aether Vial Satoru deck. We had a pretty good run with this last time we played it. I think we did trophy. I think we trophy with both builds of the Satoru deck. And at the moment, I think I'm liking this more than the Persist build. I think the vials. I know it's like funny to say, but the vials have been really, really, really good. Also, been a pretty big fan of Skyclaves, so I'm just kind of wanting to run it back with the fourth Skyclave and only three Soulherders, because Soulherders can be kind of tough to draw the second copy of. Um, any Fate Stitchers in this deck? No Fate Stitchers in this deck. On the draw for match number 1 against a Gigantha. Gigantha is like almost always an aggro deck, Domain Zoo or Prowess, and I think no Solitude, no Aether Vial. Do have Wall of Omens, but get them all again, and like this hand a lot more. Gonna put back probably the Marsh Flats. With Satoru being the only black card in the main deck, we can just leave the Vial on too, maybe. Basic, have a higher life total. Will I play Pioneer Season? I have been pretty busy, but I'm not opposed to playing an RC queue. Hoping to get around to it soon. I'm not necessarily very likely to play any Pioneer on stream. I'm excited for first draft from Memories 3. The list is just kind of too long. Ooh, a Magda deck. Cool. So, I guess because they're playing likely a million fields, let's go ahead and keep our other basic in the deck and get Watery Grave. Blue card could be a good draw. Ephemerate a good draw. Will we see a new Eldrazi winter? Well, it will appear to be summer at the time of these new Eldrazi's release, so a little less likely. There's a lot of good safety valves to the Eldrazi deck that didn't exist last time. Break the Ice, Obsidian Charmaw, new improved Ceremonious Rejection, Solitude Ephemerate, Yawgmoth. There's a lot. Okay, so cast in the Womans. Soulherder's not a bad draw. Is there a great? No, sorry. Oh yeah, not sure what's going on with MTG Bot today. Fibile. Yeah, the new Land Destruction Knight. That card's pretty good too. Opponent decides to not attack. Scared of my Aether Vial. Gonna grab a coat. Definitely taking the Vial up to 3. Let's see if they have a removal spell for the coat or not. Let's see if we draw land number 3. We draw an Aegis. So I'm going to go ahead and put this coat into play. If it's something really good to flicker out Vial and Soulherder, otherwise I'm just going to Skyclave the Fable. It's a Subtlety, which is definitely not bad. Let's get this Fable off the field. Stop them from like looting into some removal spells, maybe. Yeah, I'm excited for Recruiter of the Guard. Like Recruiter of the Guard would be really nice in a deck like this. But the big problem is it doesn't find Satoru. But finding Soulherder, finding Solitude is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, maybe I trade here. Seems okay. Three cards in their hand. Yeah, and Holy Heat my wall. And then they can make a dragon. So maybe I need to Assimilation Aegis the dragon. Seems like it could be easy enough to... Oh, I mean, I could also just flicker the Skyclave and get rid of the Magda. Yeah, so let's just hold up Ephemerate plus Stoneforge Mystic activation here. I guess also holding up Cryptic Coat activation. So Lightning Bolt on Skyclave instead of just bolting the Soulherder. Yeah, I kind of don't know why they didn't just make the dragon on their turn. Passing back. 2 cards in their hand now. Another Fable, which I guess we'll just Skyclave. Yeah, so let me go ahead and Aegis the Shaman, which will grow the Soulherder big enough to just block. This deck is just such a value train, it's awesome. And I could also potentially like Aegis the Soulherder into a Shaman. Oh right, so the token doesn't stay exiled, it just disappears. Got 1 card left in their hand. Tactical Banana, 8 months. Thank you, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Oh, they got another spell. Oh, just Gigantha into the hand, sure. And they play a Channeler. So let's flicker the Stoneforge Mystic, I guess, so that I could just cast another Cryptic Coat, maybe. I'm gonna leave the vial on 3 for now. There's a Satoru, so I'm definitely gonna flicker that. So let's wait to don't need to attack either. So let's wait to vial and the Skyclave until after the Satoru is in play, because we'll get to draw an extra card. Let's get Banana for the 8 months. Nice. So a game against the mono red Magna deck. I do like that deck. I'm gonna bring in these pushes. They should probably bring in the Dawnbringer Clerics and the Lauren also. Tidebinder's not bad. I think I'm gonna cut these subtleties. They're a little inefficient. I'm gonna go down a Skyclave. Tidebinder's not bad. I think for mana curve considerations we'll go down. Maybe Tidebinder, because they're playing a bunch of fields. Maybe Tidebinder is just good. Let's play 2. Let's just play Dawnbreaker Cleric for the sagas. Also, this can help with saga. If you exile transformed Fable with Aegis, you can't transform your creature equipped with it, right? If you exile the transformed Fable with Aegis, you can't transform. I mean, I think it would flip into Reflection. Why is it that you think it wouldn't? Okay, so my opponent's on a mold of 6. I'm on a mold of 6. I think I'm putting back the Solitude. Yeah, it does also find Grieve. Assuming that on the exile, the Fable would show up as the Fable, not the creature side. I'm under the impression it would show up as the creature side. But it should be playing Bobble before Magda because of Solitude, not the biggest deal ever. Just for those of you following along at home. Let's go ahead and save this for a saga. I could also potentially vial it in and block our Ragavan that got dashed next turn. Also lets me fetch Surveil land. Your creature doesn't become a Fable? It doesn't? I'm just I would assume it does, but I guess if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like Reflection of the Mirror Breaker is a creature that you are exiling with your Aegis, right? Yeah, I think I'll probably will just maybe try to Tidebinder the Magda activation next turn. We'll see. Oh, but I see, because the enchantment is... I see. Yeah, no, I guess that does make sense. Opponent, you're supposed to let the surveil resolve first, and then like if after I surveil, then you make me shuffle. So another little tiny missequence here. Good draw. Think there's a chance New Affinity is good? I think there's a chance, like Ugin's Labyrinth and there's also like a bunch of red stuff that's pretty good. I do think there's a chance. Yeah, I want to Tidebinder the Magda activation. That way we get rid of the 3 treasures and not let them just have the treasures and play kill my Tidebinder, then do it again. So like the Ugin's Labyrinth, there's gonna be 2 builds. There's gonna be like a more traditional build, and then there's also like a lot of like red like tools for like red-black affinity, which is kind of surprising. Very surprising, maybe. Might just get Swamp. Life total's not the highest. So it looks like this has worked out just fine. So I think I'm going to Vial in my Stoneforge and get an Aegis end of turn. Unless they dash a Ragavan. Okay, then we're going to Vial in the Dawnbringer Cleric. Gain 2. Take 2. So back down to 11. They only have 1 card left in their hand. I'm gonna leave the Vial on 2 for now. Then let's just Coat. There's an Ephemerate trapped underneath the Coat. We're the control deck. We just don't need to be attacking too aggressively here. Redirect Crab Abomination. It's on the tier list. I think it was C tier. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'm just leveling myself here, but my friend Caleb did this to me one time where yeah. Oh, their hand is not 2 Cleansing Wildfires. Fine, I'll get my island now. Because they can't even activate the Field of Ruin. My friend just like chose to not get the basic one time when I was like Path to Exiling and Ghost Quartering back in the day, and then did have another basic and like really surprised me and I lost because of it. I've always wanted to like have a spot to do that, but it doesn't really seem like this was actually the right spot for it. Okay, so I could get another Coat and just put that into play this turn, or I could get Aegis, so then I could save the Skyclave for the next thing. I think what I like about Aegis is copying a Magda is kind of relevant with the Skyclave. So I'm also going to leave this on 2 for now, mostly because of Satoru. Nice. So let's see if I can find a land. Okay, not quite that lucky, but been pretty lucky so far overall. Just get rid of the Magda for now. I guess I just should have cast that so I could have attacked for 1 more. Should be okay. Yeah, PowerPoint Part 5 will come out today. I'm going to work on it after today's stream. I ended up having a pretty busy weekend. Went to Ren Fair. Had a big D&D session Friday, and then Saturday I spent the day testing for the RC. And I feeling pretty good about the RC at the moment. Okay, so we are on the draw for the next match. I think I'm going to keep with Satoru into Solitude being pretty good. Kind of hoping to draw a white source soon. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take this hit from Ragavan, where Satoru is a 2/3, can contain the monkey for now. Yeah, the RC is not this weekend. Wait, no, it is this weekend. This weekend. Let me make sure I'm registered. And build a Flage deck. Yeah, I like Flage. Is that friend Dingo? Dingo is my friend, but not the friend whose deck I'm playing. If my opponent has a scam card, they have a scam card. I'm not gonna Solitude in response here. So not surprised to see Solitude go. Good start, opponent. I'm gonna play a pre-release? No, I don't have time. Well, hopefully we get Thoughtseize bugged and draw a Solitude. Although they Ragavan away a Solitude, so there's only 2 left in the deck. Which is kind of bad news. Tough to be on the draw against this. Need more spoilers? How many more cards are like? What does anyone know when full spoiler is supposed to be out? I obviously should know this, but I don't. And does anybody know how many more cards we have to go? Because it feels like it can't be that many more. Gravedigg. Target player makes a 2/2 zombie. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Entwine for 2. Cool card. Not playable. Later this week. The 31st. Okay. Makes sense. In time for the paper streams. Full spoiler tomorrow. Okay. I know about. I thank you for. I know about the leaks. I know about the leaks. Thank you. So 1 less for each card you've drawn this turn. Put target owner of target non-land permanent puts on the into the library, second from the top or bottom, their choice. So this card always costs at least 3 mana, or at most 3 mana. Junk Diver's insane. I mean, it's like worse than Mirror Retriever. But it's a cool reprint. Okay, let's go game. Game 2. Good draw, opponent. Draw not as good. So 4 fatal pushes coming in. I think mostly just that. You could play like 1 Hearse, but I think I want to maintain my vials being kind of good, if possible. One way to do that might be to cut the Aegis and, or like cut a Cryptic Coat, and like go down a Mystic and go down to 2 equipment. I do like Skyclave. I'm gonna cut the Tidebinders, and I think I'm gonna go down a Stoneforge and down a Coat. Click submit. Is the first image of the content I'm gonna see MTG streamers playing in their private server. Me and Twitch streaming prodigy Young Dingo are gonna be playing some paper playtest streams before Image 3 comes out on Magic Online officially. So we're going to be building decks, we're playing those decks against each other, against existing strategies, trying our best to figure it out. And just 2 guys being dudes is not necessarily the best formula for figuring it out, but it's going to be the best that we have before actual release date. So that might be the first content you get to see. School with the 15 months. Yeah, if you see me or see Dallas, yep, of course say hi. I try to bring a Sharpie with me to events, but I don't always remember to, and I've definitely lost a lot of Sharpies in the middle of events. But yeah, I'm always happy to sign cards too. Kind of hoping that they have Grief Scam, and then we just Solitude them and they can't take anything. We get Vial taken up. Mono Red Energy on the list to test. Yeah, I mean, I mono red, blue red, Grixis, Teamer, Just Guy. We could really build that deck in any way. So on the list for sure. Okay, so goodbye, Solitude. It's set to 15. Let's take Aether Vial up to 1. So I was wondering, what do I do if I draw a Satoru? I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just sandbag it. According to Scryfall, 206 have been spoiled. Full set is 261. Okay, so not too many more. So I guess there will be a 6-part PowerPoint here. Aetherworks or no Aetherworks? Both. Y'all like I don't have this set is too big to have the answers for you already. We're gonna try it all. We're gonna try it all. We will do both kinds of builds. Flage plus Kroxa plus Torp Orbs effects. Probably would not be a very competitive way to build a modern deck, but it'd be pretty fun. So Vial takes up to 2. Go Satoru, the Infiltrator. It's maybe best to like try to surveil into a blue card. Not 100% sure. So you got Ragavan, they got 5 other cards in their hand. Basically, I just want to see all the S tier cards in action. Yeah, I mean, so the tier list is mostly here for me to like kind of rank the order of what to play first and try first. Our rankings and like how good these cards actually are just going to be figured out after all this, but that is mostly what the tier list is for. To figure it out. So let's see if we find a blue card for Subtlety. I guess I should also surveil to do that because I do want to Subtlety this. I mean, this is a draw 2. I'm gonna graveyard though. Okay, so it'd be kind of interesting which one they take here. They should probably take my Skyclave, right? They just get to Violet it and get the Grief next turn. So no matter what happens, I guess maybe not no matter what, but we're probably going to be able to rebound. Oh, wow. That was probably the wrong choice, opponent, if I'm going to be honest. One thing that I think maybe some people don't realize about like why Stoneforge is in the deck is that Cryptic Coat triggers Satoru, but also that Cryptic Coat is just pretty good. Right. Not doing so bad for a gamer that got Thoughtseize and Griefed and Ragavan. Aether Vial. Probably not gonna be flickered into play this game. Amphibian Downpour. Yeah, this card is very hard to evaluate. It doesn't read to me as likely being very good. One thing that's sorry. What you'll probably end up doing with Amphibian Downpour is, because I want to Otawara this. What you'll probably end up doing with it is your opponent will cast a creature, and then you'll Amphibian Downpour, and you'll get to copy it 1 time and turn 2 of their things into frogs. Is that good? I don't know. That's kind of what the text on the card says to me. Well, I guess I am a big old liar, because I'm going to go ahead and flicker the Aether Vial into play here. Conceded from the game. Go to game 3. So yeah, I don't know. This card isn't F tier. It's probably D tier for me. Maybe it ends up playing better, but I'm not in love with it. Does Downpour count for devotion for each realm count? Yeah. Permanents are copyable, or mana value is a copyable trait in the same way that pack rat tokens have a mana symbol for devotion. Amphibian Downpour has a mana symbol for devotion too, which I've always wanted a blue devotion deck in Modern. Could be kind of cool. Anonymous with the 25. Thank you. Welcome back. So last time we didn't Solitude this Ragavan, it went kind of poorly for us, but I think with the addition of Aether Vial to this hand, it's probably going to be fine. Just do this. No, so I guess we just should, right? No, let's not. Again, I want to get planes because they'll turn 2 Blood Moon. There's just like not that much they can hit that really matters here. So obviously the mana matters for them, but also just if they me being able to Solitude Ephemerate this turn cycle seems pretty important too. Synapsa, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. My favorite card? My favorite card is probably Soaring. I think I should probably just get basic Swamp. I mean, I'm not sure that they have moons in post board against me, but I think the average scam player has 1 to 2 moons against me post board. So I'm just going to fetch my Swamp so that my opponent can't exile it with Ragavan here. Mirror and Spy and Emery can go infinite together. Yeah, that's. I can't remember who it was that was like really like doing that, but there was someone. So I could Solitude and Ephemerate in response to this, which would be kind of good against Grief. Otherwise, my opponent's going to go Hardcast Grief, take my Satoru. Which isn't really the end of the world. We'll let this resolve. Obviously, they don't definitely have a Grief either. Think Enchanters can use that spell as a big draw spell. Amphibian Downpour as a draw spell? Maybe. It's kind of a cool application. So let's see what we draw off Satoru and see if they Bowmaster. They do Bowmaster. So I think I'm just going to let it happen and then play a Cryptic Coat. Or Skyclave if I draw Skyclave, I guess. Or Solitude if I draw Solitude. Another Ephemerate. They're going to get another Bowmaster trigger here. Wall of Omens. Down to 11. We got 3 cards in their hands, not too many. I'm probably trading the Cloak for the Orc Army if they offer that trade. Goodbye, sweet Satoru. Guess trading for Ragavan instead makes sense. Not dead after all. 8 life points. So a Skyclave or a Solitude would go a long way towards bailing me out here. Oh, the last card's a Fable. Okay, pretty good. Let's tick this up. Punished. So we're going to grab Aegis. Hopefully their Fable loot isn't too good. I think my plan is likely going to be Fetch Shock down to 5, put Soulherder in front of the Shaman. That's kind of, life total is getting pretty low at that point. But like, Ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic and then eat the Shaman token. I would be, so I'd go down to 5, block, take 3 down to 2, then the Wicked Roll kills me in combination with a Bowmaster trigger. Like an Aegis, their Bowmaster, but if, okay, so my opponent chose not to loot with Fable. So obviously that makes everything a lot more complicated. I feel like I don't have the luxury of playing around a lot, though. Should have played a second basic planes. Should have also got Hallowed Fountain, sorry. Not the biggest deal. The bolt. Should probably cast that. Alright, looking for a Solitude. I guess I should probably try to do this. Because if I find that Solitude, I get to flicker it twice, which would be such a big deal. Seems like the main thing. Also, and I also get to untap the Stoneforge Mystic. So now I need to find a Skyclave Apparition, a Soulherder, or a Solitude. Or could have ticked up the Vial to Vial and Subtlety, but no way to know that that was it, right? So I guess we're not just dead because we can chump block the red. We can, or are we just dead? Because we can go block here. Thank you, Spirit. Block here. Oh, the Grief is Menace. Yeah, right, we're dead. We're just dead. Tough game. Dead after all. Keep this one. Oh, the Terramander variant. Boy, do I hate... I'm like the longest hater of Terramander ever. But this is an artifact creature, which does kind of make it better. So 1/1 flying, can only block creatures of flying. Adapt for 1 less for each other artifact. This is much better than original Terramander. So we're on the play against Merfolk, I guess. Seems like I should keep the Stoneforge Mystic and grab a Cryptic Coat. Probably. Yeah, I really didn't have like black-based affinity being like a new archetype coming to MH3 on my bingo card, but here we are. Not a believer of Terramander over Delver in 2018 in any year. So, Terramander is one of those cards that like just gets suggested a million times and has never been close to being a good card. This is makes Satoru for affinity more viable. I mean, it doesn't make it less viable. Let's keep another Solitude because I think we're gonna go Satoru into like pitch Wall of Omens into like activate Stoneforge Coat, draw a card, and then kind of the next turn we can hardcast a Solitude. You have the Tide Shaper, so we don't want to send our 1/2 into the 2/2.
Degrees out there, but with the amount of humidity, it feels like 100 already.
Not surprised.
Yeah. I was sweating from watering my plants.
Do an archive over Undercity Sewers. You seem to have access to blue, black, blue, white on turn 2. To be sure, archive over Sewers. Be sure to have access to blue, black, or 1 white mana on turn 2. You could want to play that one, yeah. Okay, so they're stopping me from drawing my card here. There's a Wall of Omens. So I'm just going to bounce my coat and block, probably. Probably not time to Solitude. It does kind of feel like they have a Subtlety, though. Marionette Apprentices flying under the radar, great for Yogg and other sacrifice decks. Yeah, the fact that it makes 2 creatures for Yogg is kind of cool, but it doesn't gain life, which makes it a lot worse than Blood Artist as like your combo finisher. But 2 creatures is relevant against Yogg, or for Yogg, I agree. I think it's a good point. Would I play Recruit of the Guard in this deck? I don't know. It is pretty rough that you can't get Satoru with it, and that is definitely your best card. The power toughness is great. It's good. yeah, it's fine. It's like the card seems fine for sure. Are fetch lands necessary in a 3-color mono black? Couldn't you play basics and a few tangos? Good point for sure. No attacks. Let's bounce the coat, see if we get Tidebindered. Dismember on Stoneforge Mystic, not Satoru. Wrong choice. When in doubt, dismember the card that draws cards. Alright, let's play Aether Vial instead of the Wall of Omens. We'll just pitch Wall of Omens to Solitude, probably. I think I'm going to upkeep fetch, because if they do have Tidebinder, which doesn't seem super likely at the moment, but if they do have it, we make them use the mana now. They're vialing in something else. Another Trickster to tap Satoru, I guess. Oh, to tap Skyclave and pay for ward. Or this Cloak and pay for ward, rather. Okay. So maybe I should just Solitude now before they can Subtlety me. This means it's going to be like just a lot harder for my opponent to get through. This is bait. Bait for what? So take one of the vials up to 3, leaves the other at 2, 2 cards in hand, blah, blah, blah. Wait for that, I guess. So getting hit for 9. It kind of feels like their last card is a Subtlety, which I don't love. Perfectly navigated, like every Merfolk player ever. So I guess to play around Subtlety, I'm going to go for Aegis. But I am just cooked against another Lord of Atlantis. Like the fact that they didn't animate the Mutavault made me think Subtlety. I shouldn't be playing all these islands in my deck in the Merfolk metagame, I guess. I think we're going to see one of these vials tick up to 4. This is one of the best bluffed... Oh, come on. Alright, if you... Okay, fair enough, fine. You can win this game. Sheesh. I think I'm just going to cut the Stoneforges altogether. To play one more card if I do this. Could just put a coat in the deck. I think Aloran is probably okay though. Seems fine. Yeah, no Cauldron I know is kind of weird, but I have not missed it. Not missed it. It's pretty off plan. And it's kind of not good against most decks. I think on the play against Merfolk, I'll click the keep button. One white source away from greatness. Another turn 1 vial. Do you see Aether Hub being a part of the new energy deck? Yeah, yeah. I think it's I will start off playing 4 Aether Hubs in basically every energy deck and then see how that feels. Not having a blue card here is a little bit less than ideal, but I'm going to play my Soulherder, try to start drawing some cards. Pray for no Dismember. I guess it would have been pretty safe to attack. I guess they could have Trickster plus the cheaper. Yeah, we saw Barga Trawler. I don't know. The MDFCs they're kind of boring, and the fact that they're just good. They're just good. Like they're not going to see. They're not very groundbreaking in what they do. They're going to be, you know, maybe this one, maybe that's less true in the case of this one because it is a goblin. So maybe goblins just always plays 4. But for the most part, they're not like not the craziest. Well, if I get to Solitude Ephemerate my opponent, they're going to be soak cards. Now I can even Subtlety a Subtlety and draw a card while doing it. So maybe let's do this in their upkeep. Could have done a main phase, maybe hit a land drop. Aether Revolt 4 red energy payoff is probably not good enough. Probably not. I don't hate that card though. Those kind of cards are usually bad, but I actually don't know if I have that one on the tier list yet. I would put it at borderline unplayable, likely. I was kind of hoping they had Subtlety, but whatever. What tier did you place Energy Lure in? It was B tier. That's good. That's good. For the green payoff. Well, the thing of the green payoff is you have to be a little bit more specialized in your build around. You know what I mean? Honest Sword, 27 months. Thank you so much. I need to reread that one. The red one. It's ETB2 energy. No, it's not. That's the green one. Okay, whenever you get 1 or more energy, it deals that much damage to any target. And as long as a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage, it deals that much +2. So I don't know. Like, one thing is, like, 4 drops are like nice with the new Raptor, because the Raptor can just cast 4 drops. Kind of all good that 7. Put back Subtlety. Could put back a land. Let's put back the Subtlety. So, like, each time you get an energy, if you have Revolt, this deals 3 to your opponent, which is pretty good, but it's also 4 mana, but it's an enchantment, and you can Raptor into it on turn 2, sometimes, if you're lucky. Hard to evaluate. Don't think it's great. Don't think it's great. I agree the green alert is better overall. Also, the Raptor can also just cast the new lure in on turn 2 sometimes. Getting critical to be lucky. Is it best to never play 1 mana creatures again instead of get blown out turn 2 by big energy Raptor? Well, fortunately, you'll still get blown out by it. Okay, just gonna fetch. I guess fetching main phase. I should have fetched upkeep to play around Tidebinder and Sylvoon the best, because now I can't Revolt. Kill a Sylvoon, huh? Do you like invert polarity or no? Coin flip counter. I really, really, really like it if you win your flips, and I don't like it that much if you lose your flips. But at least it's still a cancel. I like the card. I do think it's playable. It is hard to evaluate. It's kind of like, it's pretty rare for like a coin flip card to not just be awful when you lose the flip. So in this regard, it's a pretty unique effect. So if my opponent activates their Vial, I'm going to respond and activate my Vial. And if they Tidebinder my Vial, I'm going to Tidebinder their Tidebinder. And if they don't, I'm going to Tidebinder their Vial. That was maybe a little bit confusing, but I hope that made some sense. Why am I not playing Bowmasters anymore in this build? It's bad. bad with Soulherder, but basically. And what I really like about having Soulherder and Satoru in this deck is that you have like lots of card advantage based cards on your creatures, which make your Aether Vials good, which like just kind of contribute to the deck's overall game plan of like a snowballing value engine. That I think has been really nice. And Bowmasters just kind of like they want you to be playing an aggro game plan. This deck is not an aggro deck. Cannot really play an aggro game plan at all. It's not very good to flicker with Soulherder. It's not very. Oh, they dismember the Tidebinder. Nice. It's really good for us. You have Tower, Flare of Cultivation, Raptor, Uganland. I have sneaking suspicion Modern is no longer a turn 4 format. Yeah, Modern has not been a turn 4 format for a while. It is funny, like I don't know who it was that wrote the whole turn 4 format thing on the Twin ban article, but it has not been for a while, huh? Okay, so if I push a Lord of Atlantis, block the other, go to 1 if I don't crack my fetch, but I kind of have to crack my fetch. Let's see what we draw off the Satoru Soulherder ETB. Well, I'll take a best possible. We haven't even best possible then to best possible yet. I think I want to do this main phase. Just well, sheesh Louish. Let me just leave up Solitude here. Could cast the Soulherder, obviously. I think playing around another one of these makes sense. Yeah, it is weird that they're so resistant to unbanning Twin. I think Twin just would not be very good. I think it's kind of whatever, right? Because it wouldn't be very good if they unbanned it. It's not like things would really change a lot. Grave Troll flashbacks, yeah, maybe. See if they Tidebinder this. You can fix Pod means real Pod is never coming back. Yeah, I don't think they want to unban these cards. For better or for worse, it seems like they want them to be on the ban list. And I think I should probably Skyclave the Vial right now. This is bad if they have Subtlety. This is bad if I don't draw a white card. Bad if they have Lord of Atlantis. I don't draw it, but interesting. So I'll just flicker Satoru first, and I'll get my card. Oh, they also have a Hex Catcher. Thanks, Rabbi. Glad you're liking the PowerPoint stuff. Imagine echoing truth. Oh, what the hell? Okay, well they did this. I mean, this is fine. This was weird. It was fine. Like they could have had a 1/1. Yeah, I should have PowerPoint Part 5 up this evening. Okay, so I want this trigger to target this Soulherder first, and then I want this one to target the Satoru. So I get to draw 2. About 2 subtleties. Not so bad, I guess. I feel like the Soulherder plan with this deck, it just gives you like a degree of inevitability that you just don't really have in the other builds. It's like once you just get Soulherder down, your opponent is so buried. Like what are they gonna do? Yeah, it's probably good to be updating the list there. Yeah, getting yogged. Don't look too closely at that Blooming Marsh art before. Okay, keep stop. What do you think of a non-energy raptor deck that has no 3+ drops? I think that seems like a pretty viable way to build this archetype. Yes, it seems like you will just be able to play Marauder as like an incredible 2-drop in like a Jund Saga, Rakdos midrange, like the like Rakdos Solaris style decks that used to exist. And I think it'll be very good at that. Decided on Dallas deck. I'm pretty locked in. I've been told to keep it secret because it's not my brew. I don't think you'd like it anyway, Doom, to be honest. Yeah, you can play with Burn. They're gonna cord for 2. Be nice to draw another blue card so I could have double subtlety up, maybe. Oh, they're gonna cord for Haywire Might. Dallas event is this weekend. Lots of going on. Fair enough opponent. Draw black swords. We've got Satoru with subtlety up, which is pretty good in this spot. I think I'm discarding Wall of Omens, I guess. Can you Amp Raptor Valky? I think so, but you can't always do it unless those are the only 2 cards in your deck. Frenzo? The Gifted Sub, thank you so much. There's a pretty funny deck that you could play, a deck that is 58 mountains, 1 raptor, 1 Valky, and then mulligan until you have both in your hand. Mulligan until you have both in your hand. I save the Ephemerate. And then bottom the sorry, did I say Valky? Thassa's Oracle. Bottom the Thassa's Oracle, then Raptor into it, and it's your bottom card. Although one really sad thing about that deck idea is that if you just have a 7-card hand and they're both in your opening hand and you haven't mulliganed yet, you have to mulligan. Well, winning this game is still not out of the question. Friends with the gifted sub, thank you so much. Dynasty with the Twitch Prime, appreciate you also. I saw someone do the math and they said it was like 1% to have both. So I mean, you can mulligan to 2. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So not 7. So you have 5 looks to have both because in your 0, 1, 2 card hand, 0 and 1 card hand, it's not good. Then in your 7 card hand, it's not good. Chance to draw exactly 2 of the wanted cards is 1.199. Is that in any given mulligan? So is it 5 times that, or is that accounted for 5 looks? Why is it not good in your 1 card hand? Because you have to put. Oh wait, sorry. I guess in your 1 card hand. No, it is good when you're 1 card hand because then you just keep the raptor. You're right. So good in your 1 card hand also. So if I draw Solitude, I think we could get there. 7%? Okay. Then also your opponent can't have a discard spell or counter spell or Field of Ruin. I guess Field of Ruin doesn't work because it's mountains. If you have it in your first hand, you could wait until turn 4 because it stays exiled. Have it in your first hand. You could wait till turn 4 because it stays exiled. Oh. No, but then like I guess if your deck is all has to be all blue red duels, you have to be able to. Yeah, I don't know how you're like mana fixing well enough, really. Are you allowed to declare that you mulligan before you even draw your first hand? No, of course not. Silly. Okay, in really bad shape. I'm gonna cast my Skyclave. I think I have to exile the halfling because it's so big. Mono red. Yeah, I mean, I think the deck should just all be mountains, right? Or you can play Den of the Bugbear, I guess, if you want. But you're not really casting Oracle very often outside of the Raptor. But yeah, if your deck had blue and red duels, then you could try to win on turn 4, and then this would increase your win percentage by like a point. So it's probably fine. All right, Solitude or bust. You can play Witch's Cottage, and you can have a reasonable deck. Well, you want the Oracle on the bottom. Obviously, this isn't a reasonable deck. I mean, I agree. But Cottage doesn't work with Oracle. Let's go to game 2. Is it better than Slime? Probably. Not necessarily saying that much. So on these 7 cards, I'm going to cut the Soul Herders. I want to cut the second Cryptic Coat. Can trim like 2 Wall of Omens. 3 Wall of Omens? It's about Valky and Raptor consistently. Oh, I see. I mean, yeah, I guess. Seems like maybe a little too low power level post MH3, maybe not. No, I don't like to bring in Ashiok, especially if they have Stringer Geist, but just a little attackable. Does Valky Amped Raptor even work? I think it works, but maybe no, it doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't work because you have to exile the card first. That's why it works with Bring to Light. So dumb. But no, you're right. It doesn't work for the same reason Cascade into Valky no longer works. Magic's a confusing game. Satoru work and dredge. I mean, it works, but it's just too slow, kind of too fragile. So would I subtlety a Wall of Roots here? I wasn't sure, but thankfully my opponent doesn't make me answer that question. Would you have subtlety to Wall of Roots here, chat? For me, I don't know. Also, typically I try to like prioritize sort of Feast and Famine, but I think with Satoru, with my hand being pretty good, I think I'm just going to grab a coat to get the card off the coat. What am I trying to build? Play first up to image 3, some kind of energy build? I don't know. I'm going to try to get, well, the plan was to get the paper playtest stream. Dingo's sick, so that might not be happening anymore. We'll see. Maybe I'll ask someone else, but We'll see. I'm gonna build a lot of stuff. I'm gonna go really crazy. I don't know what the first thing is gonna be yet. Okay, gaining 3 off the food token. Is that a probably not a punt, but with the Gilded Goose, it may be. With the Goose plus Cauldron, may not have been right. It's kind of interesting. Probably right. Mono green flare of cultivation, all the new grazer effects. Yeah, it's also the Phyrexian Tower. Obviously, it's kind of weird with the basic land grazer, but like if you have either of these and you have flare or Phyrexian Tower, you're just gonna be really you just have like 8 grazers and eight ways to make an extra mana on turn 2 to have 4 mana on turn 2, which I think is pretty interesting. Okay, so this is an Aether Vial. Opponent, what did you keep? Buried alive with Satoru to bury 2 prized amalgams and an Archamiba? That could be good. So I can potentially go end of turn, activate Stoneforge Mystic, Ephemerate it, grab a sort of Feast and Famine, and just put that into play. Just play randoms at that point. I mean, not having to meet Cascade restrictions is pretty nice. So I think I'm still gonna go for the activate Stoneforge Mystic and then Ephemerate line. Also Ancestrals if you have Satoru. But yeah, it seems like it could be okay. Like one thing too is like your deck is maybe just gonna be full of Narcomoebas and prized amalgams, which kind of stinks, but they're pitchable, which is nice. Shannigan, thank you for the 35. Okay, Feast and Famine into play. Always a fun trick. And then we might as well Ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic again, draw another card, get the Aegis into hand, make sure to stack the triggers to where you search off Stoneforge Mystic first. So that way we don't accidentally draw our last tutorable here. It was just 2 Narcomoebas, which look correct. I guess I'm playing the Vial. Okay, I'm going to game 3. Yeah, I think Skyclave is pretty good at the moment. Up to the full play set. Not Sword on Satoru. I guess Sword on Satoru is better against Force of Vigor, so... I guess it's actually like exactly the same against Force of Vigor. What do they keep? Well, I mean, they did have Goose into Cauldron, into like Cord into Yogg. It was an under average hand, but it wasn't the worst. I'm gonna keep. Back up Satoru. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like Skyclave was pretty good right before MH2, then like kind of wasn't good the whole time. Is now pretty good again, I think. It's just like a lot of 4 drops. And like a lot less Urza Saga tokens, a lot less Murktide. And the exact same thing with Prowess was really bad all season, and now all of a sudden it's just kind of back. Don't love drawing another land. So they probably have a Court of Calling. Maybe I just was supposed to Subtlety the Halfling because of that. Right now they're only courting for 3. Because they used the Wall of Roots, they should have it. Feast and Famine, probably what we should grab here. Especially with the Ephemerate to just like grab the other equipment. Like we want the Feast and Famine to have the mana. Wonder if Heliod Company will be good again. I mean I think that Heliod as a deck is not bad. Is kind of underplayed. But like you should be playing like the idyllic Grange One Ring build. Like those are the builds we've like actually had success with. I don't think the other builds are very good. I think I have to let this go. Maybe this logic is flawed though, because like they just could untap and court for Yogg, but it seems like they're just gonna court for less. And if their hand is like core to chord, good beats, I guess. Huh. So now if I Ephemerate this, I get to draw a card, but then they can just Bowmaster kill it again, so I guess not. Their draw was definitely a lot better this game. I guess I just definitely should have subtletied the Bowmaster here, huh? So they're planning to Pindlehaven me? I guess that's not the end of the world, huh? Down to 15. Not the lowest life total either. Plays a basic swamp. And then Yogg. So let's evoke a subtlety with the intention of ephemerating our Satoru in response to a Bowmaster trigger. Which all super good here, huh? I guess I'm ephemerating my Satoru, and if I draw like Subtlety, get Subtlety to the Yogg again next turn. Take a big hit from the Bowmaster. But then maybe Feast and Famine stabilizes me, and maybe not. Not really seeing like another route to victory outside of finding another Subtlety, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and pack it in. Tough game. Yeah, my opinion of Nadu's definitely gone up a lot today because I didn't realize the land enters untapped. I think the card's good. How good is very tough. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the view bot either. Yeah, we can do a 3-2 prediction. Okay, opponent's in a Multi 6 on the play. Multi 4. The green enchantment creature you looked at will be big with Nadu. Will it? I mean, maybe you can play both those cards together, but it's like I feel like you're building a deck where you play the new Allurin and you like combo kill them, or you play a deck built around Nadu. I don't know that those two things are both going to be the same deck, because it seems like you want to combo Nadu with like a bunch of artifacts that equip, or Bristly Bill is an overlap for sure. Oh, the green enchantment. Sorry. I guess I was not thinking of the one that you were thinking of. The one that landfalls to make a 1/1. That does seem pretty good with Nadu. The general sentiment with Michi seems that it is ideally going to create boost off meta archetypes that will not directly harming any current tier 1/2 decks. Do you agree with this? it's gonna harm to existing tier 1-2 decks. Like you can't have a bunch of new decks into the metagame and then have just all the other decks still maintain the exact amount of relevancy. Okay, do not really have. I guess we have Hearses and Clerics and Ashioks. Okay, we've got Graveyard Hate. Although and this is also Crabvine, not Dredge. Looks like yeah, you can't just have a bunch of new viable decks emerge and then like and everything is also equally as viable as it used to be. Well done, Wizards. I think that it is going to introduce a lot of new archetypes to the format. It's going to buff some existing ones a little bit. But it's not exactly clear how it's going to do that. I think Amulet's still going to be pretty busted, since a lot of the new hate doesn't hit it. At least there's Harbinger. How do you gauge decks in terms of power level, especially when talking about niche decks? You've explored some cool decks and had some success at leagues or real events, but barely any people pick them up. Made results, do you think these decks are still good and consider them for real events, or just discard them because they aren't powerful enough for current meta? I mean, it just depends. Decks that come to mind are, is it Surveil, Magna Crime, some others. So like the Magna Crimes deck, like the Lookout deck, I think that one has picked up. I think people are playing that one, and you know a reasonable amount, and it seems to be like a solid tournament deck. At least the free starter deck. It just kind of depends. Like one thing too is like a lot of times like what we find on the channel are decks that you can have a winning record with, decks that are like pretty solid, decks that are underrated, and like this is all really nice, but. Someone in chat just said it. You can only play one deck at a time. And so it's not that common that one of these decks that we play on stream is just the best deck choice for a tournament. Sometimes I feel like we have some good tournament deck choices, but most of the times there are just better choices to play in a modern tournament than what we're playing on stream. But another thing too is it's like the Is It Surveil deck is maybe a good example. Like a lot of decks that I do like and I like would select for a tournament sometimes are just really complicated and really hard to pick up. And I find that a lot of times people will pick up decks that I work on that are just simpler. And are I know when a deck that I'm working on is just more likely to be picked up if it's simple. If it's simple, people are like way more likely to play it as opposed to if it's like a really, really complicated new something. I just know it's not going to be nearly as likely for people to start jamming it. Which is probably to be expected, right? Yeah, I like the Collector's Cage deck a lot. That one's, I guess, is kind of simple. Thanks for saying Obash is a good companion. Obash is the perfect companion. I think perfectly balanced. So down to 10. I think I want to be able to hardcast Subtlety next turn and start blocking these Narcomoebas. Balanced before. I balanced after the companion change. So maybe I just want to also be able to Tidebinder this Verdant Catacombs. Maybe it's better to try to Tidebinder the Vengevine trigger. I could just chump block the Vengevine. I play maybe when they go top, playing a couple of decks really tougher players like me. Yeah, and I think that's probably pretty representative of the average modern player. Plays 1 league a week, 2 weeks a week, doesn't like get to pivot a lot. And there have been several times I've played like decks that I think are like pretty good, but also just pretty complicated, and also because like of how the stream is structured, and maybe this could change. Is like I just don't really like to play decks over and over and over again. Like this is like the second time I've ever played this deck. We trophied with it the first time. I think this deck is pretty good, but I probably will just not play anything close to it again until MH3 when we get the new tools. And I think it's mostly just good for me to put decks out there, build stuff for y'all to play with, and y'all can decide how much you want to play with them. Timeless Amulet got me modern. I've actually been kind of thinking about a new Timeless Amulet build that could be kind of fun. So let's go and Violin this Wall of Omens. So I don't love the idea of fetch shocking down to 4, blocking a Narcomoeba, and then going down to 3. and dying to a creeping chill. That was same with Image 3 cards. I mean, I still have like this week of non-Modern Horizons cards to do. So I am kind of trying to still keep things fresh this week. I'm probably going to take at least one day off to like prep for RC, just take a mental break, get the paper setup going. I don't know if that's going to be Friday. Probably that might be Friday. Surveil 3. If they have Surveil lands in their deck, they probably should have fetched first, right? Yeah, I think Aether Vial gets better with MH3 just because like creature quality is getting so much higher. Isn't base set fully spoiled tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should take tomorrow off, and so I can just like power out that last video. Maybe 2 days off this week from the stream, and then just still doing magic off stream. Figure out how to doppelgang Timeless Amulet to build with ping lands, like Seth was doing standard. Interesting. Doppelgang is a pretty powerful card. Kind of expensive. Power up the last power point. Yeah, I think there will be 2 more probably. Or at the very least, like if tomorrow, you know, the full spoiler's out and there's just like not that much more. Wait, they have Smuggler's Surprise in their deck. If the full spoiler's out tomorrow and there's just not that much new stuff to cover, then I'll do like maybe like a recap part of it too. Okay, Venture Deeper. They have milled a second Vengevine. So my opponent probably wants to crack this fetch and then cast both Secret Keepers. So I guess we should probably just Tidebind the fetch. And then basically be at 3. Asks us personally play a lot of niche decks and create a lot of mutate decks in Modern. Please continue. I've had some great results. The top 60 bigger events, barely missed qualifying for Gant. The problem is I'm having, due to big meta changes and me playing such a niche deck, it takes a lot of time to adapt. At these stages, hard time figuring out whether my deck is just isn't good anymore or missing 1-2 cards that work better in the meta. Yeah, I agree. This is what it's like to brew. And this is also like a lot of times you'll have a good idea, you'll have a deck that's like you're finding success with, a deck that has been like pretty good. Doesn't and it kind of just to some extent doesn't matter like how much work you've put in. It doesn't matter how good the idea is, how original it is. It's like when it comes to tournaments, it really just kind of is your deck the best choice for a tournament? and when it comes to tournaments, you don't get points for your deck being sweet. You get points for your deck winning matches in Magic. And I definitely relate to that dynamic being frustrating sometimes. But it's definitely rewarding in of itself, and sometimes it is just a couple cards away. Yeah, maybe they don't have another fetchable blue because they have a Breeding Pool and a Watery Grave in the yard here. So Shuko going to be like $35 now. I'm kind of surprised people are so into the Shuko thing, but it doesn't seem awful. Seems a little dopey. Oh, oops. So I think I'm going to go ahead and Vial the Skyclave and exile a Narcomoeba so that I can not be dead to a single Creeping Chill. I mean, I know I could Tidebinder a Creeping Chill. I mean, it is nice that you can tutor Shuko off of Urza Saga. But I kind of feel like you're just not really going to play 4, maybe. That's true. MTG finance stuff is always just so silly. So all over the place. Saga and Stoneforge? Yeah, sure. But are you gonna play more than one? Maybe you play 2. But also, like Lightning Greaves is, it costs 1 more mana, but it has a really, really relevant effect, giving something Shroud and Haste, and as opposed to what +1/+0. I don't know. Could do a split. When I saw that my opponent was playing Crabvine, I was kind of happy because I'm like, oh yeah, this Crabvine players always play so fast. Usually, it's pretty happy. Opponent just not trying to get their Vengevines back. Let's cash this in for a draw too. Yeah, just leave up the Solitude here. Greaves is worse if you only have Nondu, but it's fine with one or more creatures. Greaves is worse than Shuko if you only have Nadu. Because Shuko just doesn't do anything without Nadu. The other one, like, I don't know, give your mana dorks haste. Wait, one thing I really like about Shuko is that it can give your Nadu 4 power, so that the 2 mana 1/4 can tap for 4 mana. I think that's kind of interesting. Also, I guess my opponent is just ghosting, right? Because they just never they never played into my Tidebinder. They just assumed I had it, or obviously they're not for sure ghosting, but it seems pretty likely because they just could have gotten back 2 Vengevines, but they're playing around my hand the whole time. So I'm just gonna throw up the hand hider for games 2 and 3 here. Greaves also makes it sure that you have more likely have 2 creatures, so it's not really worse than Shuko. I think Greaves is clearly a more powerful effect than Shuko, but just it's an extra mana, which is a big problem. If Nondu has Shuk on it, you activate the equip to target the same creature. But you can't do with Greaves. Wait, Shuko can equip to the same creature? No, yeah, you can't just. Oh, do people think Shuko's better because if this is on? Wait, can you? You can just go equip? Okay, I see. I think my confusion is the only 0 mana equipment I've really played it is Greaves. So because Greaves has Shroud, you can't equip it to itself. You can just activate this again. Okay, I see. Okay, that is maybe a little better. Yeah. That's the point of Self Breakfast. Yeah. Okay. I get it. So if your only creature is Nadu, you get 1 extra trigger with Shuko is the payoff, which seems probably still worse than Greaves because then your Nadu will at least have Shroud for next turn, right? Still worse. I think so. Shuko being 1 mana is the biggest advantage of this card by a lot, and that matters way more, I think, than being able to equip twice if Nadu is your only creature. Especially because of a lot of times if you have equipment and Nadu in play, you go Nadu equip trigger on the stack. Your opponent's just going to kill it in response, and then you get the second trigger. So it's it's not going to be that different. But if you get to go Greaves, haste, attack for 3 flying, it has shrouds, you get to untap with it. I think that matters a lot too. Yeah, Shuko being 1 mana again. Shuko being 1 mana matters a lot. Two Shuko, 1 Greaves is fine if you play Stoneforge. Not sure about Greaves without Stoneforge. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be cool. So one thing too is if I'm gonna play this kind of deck, I would love to try to figure out Flare of Denial. I feel like Flare of Denial in this archetype could be pretty interesting. Because if you're going to be playing this very creature board focused cards where you use your creature then you kind of throw them away, could be good. You could also play Ephemerate, play Risen Reef maybe. I don't know. Certainly a lot going on. Second Hedra Crab is tough. Brewing stream. You know, I've thought about doing brewing streams for MH3 because we are in kind of a lame duck format now, and I have been really enjoying like the tier list stuff. So like I was thinking about just doing that today, just like, all right, chat, today we are trying to we're just building MH3 decks. That's the stream today. So I potentially could just do that the rest of this week. Might be good. So I guess if I have like maybe we'll do like one league and then brew stream. Maybe just do all brew stream. Yeah, maybe we brew Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday off. All right, seems like some good feedback too in the chat. Probably maybe brewing in Moxfield because I don't think the card images are in Magic Online yet. Although maybe they're here on Wednesday. Yeah, Brews Day would be a good title for tomorrow. I agree. I believe MH3 is live online on the 11th, and then I think there's an early access event on the 7th. Current impression, at least. There's a Vengevine in the yard. Yeah, I mean, it sounds fun. I thought about doing that today, but I had this stuff that I wanted to get to. I think both this deck and the Footsteps deck I wanted to get a league in before MH3 because there's some cool stuff with the new cards coming out. But drinking. Esther got me a chai latte from this local coffee place called Billy Joe's. That's really, really good. Nice local owned coffee shop. And Billy Joe is also just like he's really nice and friendly, and he's always down for chats. It's like kind of out of the way, but we try to go just because he's so cool, and it's good to support a local business. So they can't crack that fetch. There's a Creeping Chill and a Bloodghast and Satoru. And then the Vengevine, so if their last card is another creature, they can try to get this Vengevine back, but maybe I have something for that. Why the Hand Hider? My opponent was being a little sus game one. They were like playing around a card in my hand the whole time, and then like they just conceded instead of like trying to bring back two Vengevines, which would have put them in pretty good shape. They just gave up. Like usually, like one of the what I try not to be this opponent's ghosting, but when we have an opponent who like just concedes instead of like playing into the card in your hand, it's just like there's not much you can do that's more suspicious than not go through the motions. You know what I mean? Okay, so they got no cards in their hand. Several Bloodghast in the yard. They got 15 cards left in their deck. It's not too many. Let's do this on 2. I think I'm casting. So I'm gonna leave my Stoneforge Mystic untapped. Ooh, a Satoru, cool. Maz, 29 months. Jokers are insane. Yeah, maybe for you. Just an average day for me. Thank you for the 29 months. So they got 10 cards left in their deck. It's not too many. I haven't played Balatro in a few weeks. I've been kind of missing it, but I was playing a lot of Hades 2 also. Hades 2 has been so good. I think I'm gonna grab Aegis. Probably would be fine to grab a second coat. Got triple block. Yeah, Hades 2 has been really. If you haven't played Hades 1, you should play Hades 1 first because that's one of the best games ever made. But if you're like on the fence about not playing because of the whole early access stuff, the game I think is really worth playing at the moment. I would definitely recommend it. What's the interaction between Ashiok and Narcomoeba? Wouldn't the Narcos still come back? No, Ashiok exiles it as part of like the same trigger, so it does not exile it. How much of Hades 1? Like beat Dad once. I would say get to the credits, beat Dad 10 times. But that's the nice thing about Hades 1 is you just get to pick how much you play it. You can play it a lot, get to the epilogue. You can like for me for Hades 1, I got lied to by a Reddit comment with 2 upvotes that there was a there's like a super secret ending with a new secret boss. I played for many hours unlocking absolutely everything trying to get to the super secret boss that didn't exist. It was like it had 2 upvotes. People upvoted it. What was I supposed to? And I remember I'm like I got spoiled. No, I was so upset.